Hi friends, and welcome to Chocolate. I'm Mimi, and today we're doing something a little unusual and very fun. We're going to unpack one simple word that carries a whole world inside it. Chocolate. And if you're thinking, Mimi, I already know what chocolate is. It's the best part of dessert. I hear you. But chocolate is also a food with a story, a process, and a surprising amount of science behind that smooth, melty bite. So for the next few minutes, let's break it down in a way that's easy, clear, and honestly delicious to imagine. First, what is chocolate really? At its core, chocolate comes from cacao beans. Think of cacao beans like coffee beans' cousins. They're seeds that come from the cacao tree, and they're the starting point for everything from a dark chocolate bar to hot cocoa. Now, here's a simple way to picture the journey. Imagine you're building a song. The cacao bean is the raw audio. It's not ready for the radio yet. It needs mixing, editing, and mastering. Chocolate is kind of the same. The bean has to go through steps to turn into something that tastes rich and smooth instead of bitter and rough. Those steps usually include fermenting and drying the beans, then roasting them. Roasting is a huge moment because heat helps develop the flavors we recognize as chocolatey. After roasting, the beans are cracked open and the inside pieces called nibs are ground down. When you grind cacao nibs long enough, they turn into a thick, glossy paste called chocolate liquor. Don't worry, there's no alcohol involved. It's just the traditional name for that concentrated cacao paste. From there, chocolate becomes a balancing act. If you separate chocolate liquor, you can get cocoa solids and cocoa butter. Cocoa solids bring deep flavor. Cocoa butter brings that silky, melt-in-your-mouth texture. Then makers mix these with sugar and sometimes milk, depending on the type of chocolate they're aiming for. So what's the difference between dark, milk, and white chocolate? Here's the simple version. Dark chocolate typically has a higher amount of cocoa solids and cocoa butter, with less sugar and no milk. Milk chocolate includes milk, which softens the flavor and makes it creamier and sweeter. White chocolate is the curveball. It usually contains cocoa butter, sugar, and milk, but no cocoa solids. That's why it tastes buttery and sweet, but doesn't have the deep cocoa flavor of dark chocolate. Now let's talk about something everyone has experienced. That snap when you break a chocolate bar and the way it melts on your tongue. That's not just magic. That's structure. Chocolate can form different crystal patterns, especially because of the cocoa butter. When chocolate is made well, it has a stable structure that gives it a clean snap, a shiny look, and a smooth melt. When it's not stable, you might see a white or grayish film on top. That's often bloom, where fats or sugars shift around. It doesn't always mean the chocolate is unsafe, but it can change the texture and look. And why do so many of us crave chocolate? Part of it is taste. The combination of bitterness and sweetness is incredibly satisfying. Part of it is aroma, because a lot of flavor is actually what we smell. And part of it is how chocolate melts at around body temperature, which makes it feel extra luxurious. It's like the food version of a perfectly warm blanket. Here's a quick, practical tip you can try the next time you have chocolate. Do a tiny tasting. Take one small piece, let it sit for a second, and notice three things: the smell, the snap, and the melt. Is it fruity, nutty, caramel-like, sharp and intense? Chocolate can carry a whole range of flavors depending on where the cacao was grown and how it was made, kind of like coffee or wine, but without needing to be an expert to enjoy it. Before we wrap up, I want to bring it back to the simplest truth. Chocolate is both everyday and extraordinary. It can be a candy bar you grab at the store, and it can also be a carefully crafted food with real artistry behind it. It starts as a bean, gets transformed through heat, grinding, and mixing, and ends up as one of the most loved flavors in the world. That's it for today's bite-sized episode of Chocolate. I'm Mimi, and I'm so glad you were here. If you want, the next time you eat chocolate, try that little tasting moment and see what you notice. Until next time, take care, stay curious, and keep it sweet.